Now, I'm going to talk about the case Nokia India Battery Recall Logistics. This case presents the challenge faced by Nokia India in 2007. Over a 3-month period, Nokia India had to recall a few million batteries and replace them with new ones. It also provides a rich context to learn about the interaction of supply chain management, information systems, and reverse logistics, and to understand the marketing, logistics, and communication challenges faced by a multinational company operating in an emerging market such as India. Now, coming to the gist of the case, Nokia initially started its business in paper pulp industry and it slowly expanded its operations. And as a part of its diversification strategy, it entered into the consumer electronics segment. And by 1980s, it is getting about 40% of its revenue through this. As of 2007, Nokia was one of the leading manufacturers of mobile devices, telecom equipment, and mobile content services. By 2007, its sales has reached to $70,000 million and its operating profit has reached to around $11,000 million. The top market for Nokia was China and the second top market was India. Nokia entered the Indian market in 1995 and it has a market share of around 76% in 2006. It has set up its manufacturing facility in Chennai in 2006 and in the first 18 months it has produced around 60 million handsets. The company also had a strong network of sales and marketing centers with its presence in more than 130,000 outlets. It is trying to be more close with the customers with more than 500 customer care centers called CCCs and more than 600 Nokia priority dealers across India. The strategic partner for Nokia in India was HCL Infosystems. Irrespective of the mobile service providers like CDMA or GSM, Nokia had been the market leader in the mobile phones equipment, followed by Samsung, LG, and Motorola. Nokia had an extremely complex supply chain, and in 2007, AMR Research had ranked Nokia number 1 for excellence in supply chain management. And Nokia had been working on creating a demand-driven supply chain, linking the customer with number of suppliers, factories, telecom operators. The demand-driven supply chain is linking together the three key areas of supply management, demand management, product management. While coming to the logistics, in India there had been many challenges faced by the logistics. It is due to the diverse topography of India and the number of states, and each state had different tax regimes and diversity of languages. So it has become a great challenge, and even it has become a challenge for third-party logistics service providers also to work on this. Nokia's head office of Finland had discovered that BL5C batteries were swelling. In July 2007, the company had received around 100 complaints from different parts of the world regarding the battery. It has appeared that in some of the cases, the battery overheating was while charging the battery to discharge. And due to strong R&D facility, they were able to recognize that during December 2005 and November 2006, the batteries that were manufactured were defective. So Nokia had planned for the replacement of the batteries. And while this issue was in the process, it has become much severe when it has appeared in the media in India. So in order to resolve this issue at the earliest, they initially thought of setting up through the internet in the website by entering the 15-digit number to know whether it is defective or not. But since in rural area many were unable to access the internet, so they thought of the local solution by sending their 15-digit mobile battery number through SMS. Within a couple of days, over 150,000 requests had been received, and in a week, 3 million requests had been received. So now it has become a difficult task for Nokia to come out of this problem. In order not to lose the reputation among the customers, they started advertisement campaign and toll-free helpline was also activated. In order to handle large volume of shipments, Nokia had to work with DHL, and now there was shortage in workforce, which was later resolved due to recruitment of temporary workers. The shipment process had been started from the Chennai manufacturing plant to the Delhi warehouse. From there, the batteries were being shipped to customers by their postal addresses. And in order to avoid the double delivery, they were verifying the SMSs and the request at the CCCs. So they should maintain a separate database for that. There is also an extra task of putting the not for sale sticker to make it non-taxable. And as the SAP software doesn't have this option, all the work they had to do it manually. After packing, they had sent them to different parts of India through different courier companies. During the Diwali season, Nokia had given some special offers to courier companies for extra working hours. Now the problem that has occurred is that the customers are not receiving the battery due to incorrect addresses mentioned by them in the text message. In addition to the direct-to-customer couriers were sent to RDs and CCCs to distribute. Since Nokia did not have direct agreement with CCCs, they have sent it on behalf of HCL, and HCL will invoice it on behalf of RDs. Here, the reverse shipment has been an important part in order to align with the objective of collecting and disposing of the batteries in an environmental friendly manner. The empty insulated envelopes were sent from China to Delhi and from Delhi to the customers, and they were sent back once again to the China to dispose it off. This operation had finally ended in December 2007. This case tells us how third-party logistics has been becoming an important. Product recalls are an integral part of the supply chain management. Even though Nokia had gained back the trust of customers, you can't afford to take chances with your brand's reputation in such cases of product recall. And the product recall procedure should have a clearly defined responsibilities and authority for execution of the recall plan. The plan should include how products will be traced, methods for assessing the seriousness of the defect, the internal action steps, how to monitor the recall, the actual physical flow of the product, and how to determine effectiveness of the recall. We need to manage the database integration between 3PL services like DHL and Nokia for faster processing of the request. And last but not least, we need to dispose of the product safely and legally. It is important to measure the effectiveness of the recall by collecting data on such things as the percentage of the product actually reclaimed and customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction before and during after the recall. This helps in determining the effectiveness of the recall system. Having a reverse logistics chain in place would also support any future recalls if